For more than a century, the structure of American schools remained surprisingly consistent. Students sat in classrooms, teachers stood at the front, schedules were fixed, subjects were separated into periods, learning was standardized, and success was often measured through tests, grades, and memorization. That system shaped generations of Americans. But today, the future of American schools is becoming one of the biggest questions facing the country. Because the world students are preparing for is changing faster than the education system itself. Artificial intelligence is transforming jobs. Technology is reshaping communication. Remote learning is becoming more common. Traditional careers are evolving. And students are growing up in a world completely different from the one schools were originally designed to support. As a result, American education may be heading toward one of the largest transformations in its histories. So, what will the future of American schools actually look like? The answer is not simple. Some schools may become more technological, others may become more flexible. Some may focus heavily on skills and adaptability rather than memorization. And the very definition of education itself may change over the next few decades. To understand where schools are going, you first have to understand where the current system came from. Modern American schools were largely designed during the industrial era. The goal was to create standardized systems capable of educating large populations efficiently. Students were grouped by age. Schedules were rigid. Discipline and routine were emphasized. This made sense for the economy of the time. Factories, offices, and industrial systems needed workers who could follow schedules, complete repetitive tasks, and operate within structured environments. Schools reflected that reality, but the future economy may require something very different. Automation and artificial intelligence are already beginning to replace many repetitive tasks. Information is instantly available online. Technology changes industries rapidly. This means future workers may need creativity, adaptability, problem-solving, communication, and technological literacy more than simple memorization. And schools are starting to recognize this shift. One of the biggest changes shaping the future of education is artificial intelligence. AI could transform schools in ways that were once impossible. Personalized learning systems may adapt lessons to each student's pace, strengths, and weaknesses. Instead of entire classrooms moving at one fixed speed, students may learn through highly customized educational paths. A student struggling with math could receive targeted support instantly. A student excelling in science could advance more quickly. Education may become more individualized than ever before. Teachers themselves may also change roles. Instead of primarily delivering information, teachers may increasingly act as mentors, guides, and facilitators, helping students navigate knowledge, critical thinking, and emotional development. Because in a world where information is everywhere, the challenge is no longer access, it is understanding. Remote and hybrid learning may also continue expanding. The pandemic proved that large-scale online education is technically possible even if imperfect. While fully remote schooling may not replace traditional classrooms for most students, hybrid models could become far more common. Students may take some classes online and others in person. Advanced courses could be taught digitally across multiple schools. Rural students may gain access to specialized programs previously unavailable in their districts. Technology may make education more geographically flexible, but this also creates new concerns. Not every student learns equally well online. Social interaction remains essential for child development. Schools are not just academic institutions. They are social environments where students learn communication, teamwork, relationships, and emotional skills. The future school system will likely need to balance technology with human interaction carefully. Another major change involves skills-based education. For decades, schools heavily emphasized standardized testing and traditional academic performance. But employers increasingly value practical skills, adaptability, and technological competence. As a result, future schools may place greater focus on real-world problem-solving, coding, financial literacy, communication, entrepreneurship, and collaborative projects. Some experts believe the traditional division between academic education and career training may weaken significantly. Students may begin exploring career pathways earlier through internships, digital certifications, and hands-on learning programs. College itself may also evolve. For generations, the standard path was simple: graduate high school, attend college, get a degree, and build a career. But rising tuition costs and changing job markets are challenging that model. Many younger Americans now question whether expensive four-year degrees always guarantee financial stability. At the same time, technology industries increasingly value skills and portfolios alongside formal education. This could push high schools and universities toward more flexible systems focused on practical competencies rather than traditional credentials alone. Mental health will likely become another major focus of future schools. Today's students face pressures previous generations never experienced at the same scale. Social media, constant digital comparison, information overload, academic pressure, economic uncertainty, and growing concerns about the future. Schools are increasingly being asked to support not only academic development, but emotional well-being too. Future schools may integrate counseling, emotional learning, stress management, and mental health resources much more deeply into daily education. Another major shift involves attention itself. Students today grow up in environments filled with constant digital stimulation. Short-form content, notifications, and instant entertainment compete directly with traditional classroom structures. This creates a huge challenge for education systems built around long attention spans and passive instruction. Future schools may need to redesign how learning is delivered entirely. Lessons could become more interactive, visual, project-based, and technology integrated to match changing cognitive habits. At the same time, educators may also push back against excessive screen dependency by emphasizing focus, critical thinking, and deep reading skills. The future classroom may involve both advanced technology and intentional limits on technology. Physical school design may also change. Traditional classrooms with rows of desks could gradually evolve into more flexible learning environments. Collaborative spaces, project labs, technology centers, creative studios, hybrid learning hubs. Schools may increasingly resemble innovation centers rather than rigid institutional spaces. Career preparation will likely become more dynamic as well. The future job market is expected to change rapidly throughout students' lives. Many future careers may not even exist yet. This means schools may shift away from preparing students for one fixed profession and instead focus on teaching adaptability itself. Learning how to learn may become one of the most important educational goals. Another major issue shaping the future of schools is inequality. America's education system already varies dramatically depending on geography, income, and local funding. Technology could either reduce these gaps or widen them further. Students with strong internet access, advanced tools, and supportive learning environments may benefit enormously from AI-driven education. Students without those resources may fall further behind. This means the future of education is not only about technology, it is also about access. And that could become one of the defining policy debates of the next generation. Teachers will remain central despite all technological change. In fact, human teachers may become even more important in some ways, because technology can deliver information. But mentorship, emotional support, inspiration, discipline, and human connection are much harder to automate. The best future schools may combine advanced technology with strong human guidance rather than replacing teachers entirely. Another important question is whether the traditional school calendar will survive. The standard school year was partly designed around older agricultural and industrial schedules that no longer reflect modern life. Future systems may become more flexible with year-round learning, shorter breaks, or customized schedules adapted to different student needs. Education itself may also become more lifelong. Instead of learning ending after college, future Americans may constantly retrain throughout adulthood as technology changes industries. Schools, universities, and online platforms could become part of one continuous, lifelong learning ecosystem. And perhaps the biggest shift of all is philosophical. For decades, schools largely focused on preparing students to fit into existing systems. But the future may require preparing students for systems that are constantly changing. That is a completely different challenge. Because no one fully knows what the future economy will look like. AI could automate millions of jobs while creating entirely new industries. Remote work may continue reshaping careers. Global competition may intensify. Technology may evolve faster than educational institutions can adapt. The future school system must prepare students not just for known careers, but for uncertainty itself. And that may require a very different kind of education, one focused less on memorizing answers, and more on developing adaptability, creativity, emotional intelligence, and the ability to keep learning throughout life. The future of American schools is still being written. Some systems will adapt faster than others. Some schools may become highly advanced innovation centers. Others may struggle to keep pace with rapid change. But one thing is clear, the traditional model of education is under enormous pressure. Because the world students are entering no longer looks like the world schools were originally designed for. And over the next few decades, America's classrooms may change more dramatically than they have in the last 100 years combined.